Good morning and welcome to the first legislative minority segment of the month of April. I'm Kyle Aloha Lindsay, your host this morning. Joining us is our second legislator from Eva Beach, Representative Bob McDermott, represents District 40 and is a member of the Committee on Finance and Housing. Brett McDermott, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Kyle. Good morning, buddy.
So we're about we have about 675,000 doses of the COVID vaccine that have been administered so far. What has this been your overall impression of what the rollout has been like and where we're going as a state?
Well, thanks. That's a big open-ended question. I really thank the private sector, Queens Health Systems, and of course Straub, Hawaii Pacific, known as Hawaii Pacific Health, for stepping up to the plate back in January, preparing us to roll out vaccinations. The state actually worked with them after a little initial friction. The state jumped in with, thanks to Speaker Psyche and the majority leader, to provide facilities for these health centers to begin their vaccinations. They're not making any money on these vaccinations. Quite the opposite. They're losing money going into these empty shells. Let's take Pier 2 as an example. State set up a vaccination center in what was an empty shell. They had to undergird the electrical system. They had to prepare the area and had to bring their people down there and create a little vaccination center out of nothing. And they did it in 3 days. It was amazing. That's just one example. So, but where we're at today, I'm very happy. You can feel the optimism in the air. You can feel people getting more optimistic in their view of the future because people are being vaccinated, and it's not the fear of going into a long drugstore and you're going to catch it. So that's my take on that.
Absolutely. I feel like it was just last month we were talking and we couldn't believe it was March. And now I was just thinking that around this time last year, we were in lockdown. No one was on the road. Like you said, there was just that fear in the air. But it is refreshing to hear where we're at now. Transitioning kind of along the lines of where we're coming up in the future, there was news that broke that because of our case counts slowly rising, that we may have to go back to tier two. The mayor has noted that he is very strongly against it. What is your opinion on that?
I agree with Rick Blangiardi. No going back. We have to go forward. We have to learn how to live with this. The fact is that the doctors are learning how to treat it much more effectively. My own mother-in-law, anecdotally, got COVID. She's 75 and has numerous health conditions. But these therapeutics they have now, and they know what cocktails work, so to speak. They get in there right away and they go to work and get these people healthy again. It's no fun to have it, but we've come a long way. And even though the cases have exploded in the sense that everybody's getting infected or has been infected, the survival rate has exponentially gone through the roof due to our healthcare heroes.
And I guess going along that as well, tourism is pretty much almost in full swing. We're doing a little better than we expected. So how would you rate where we're at as far as public health concerns go? Just the way business is coming back. I guess where we are now at this point.
It's a good question. There's a lot of issues, a lot of unknowns. For example, how are the banks and the financial institutions going to treat businesses and people who haven't paid their mortgage in the last year because they didn't have a job? It's not they didn't want to, they didn't have a job. So there are programs that gave them deferrals and whatnot. But how do we absorb that crush, particularly with businesses? Because homeowners, if you have a federally guaranteed loan, you have the opportunity to get relief in the sense that even free money or a deferment until a later date, sometime later. But businesses don't have that. And their rent is due every month. Say you own a bar. The one fellow owns 3 bars here in town, and every month his payroll is due. Every month his lease is due. Well, if he can't pay it, it goes back to the owner of the building, and the owner of the building has a mortgage on that with the bank. Somebody somewhere has to start paying again. And that's going to be a big reckoning, I think, coming for us. And I do not know how it's going to play out.
Absolutely. Transitioning from, I guess, sort of the bigger picture to an issue that's very popular in your district. There was news recently that the new interim executive director of HART had let go of about half of her employees. The budget for the rail has sort of skyrocketed in the past couple of months, it seems. How is the pulse of rail in your district? Are you still a supporter of the project, and are you optimistic under this new leadership?
Well, let me just say that the mayor Caldwell in the last year really stunk it up. I mean, he almost single-handedly killed the project due to lack of engagement, shirking responsibility. He just really stunk it up, and I don't know why he did that. So Blangiardi has a mess in his lap right now. He's got to figure out how to do it. My solution is you keep the tax the way it is right now in perpetuity. So the GET that we're currently paying on Oahu would just stay. Because I'll tell the viewers this: if you think we end that tax, which is you're used to paying it now, and that money is going to be returned to you, think again. The state government already has designs on where to spend that money, and they are going to give you a tiny taste back, just a little taste. Hey, we're giving you a tax cut, but they'll keep 75% of it to spend on other things that the legislators want to spend it on. That is real as the sun is long. The only practical solution is to extend the GET in perpetuity, and that is because once it's built, you have to maintain it. And Oahu is the economic driver of the state. Waikiki is the engine of the state. People may not like that, but it's the only one we have right now. So that's what we've got to do. Okay?
Absolutely. We got about 30 seconds left. Campbell High School is sending applications for virtual classes coming up this fall. In 20 seconds, what are your thoughts on that?
I find that disappointing. I'm disappointed that they chose not to have a in-person graduation at the stadium. I worked to try to make that an option, and I did succeed in making it an option. But the leadership felt they didn't have enough time to prepare, and safety was their primary concern. But we're now seeing virtual applications for the fall of 21. My gosh, everybody will be vaccinated by then. What are we thinking? And that's troublesome, and my colleagues and I have got to get to work on that.
Absolutely. Still a lot of work to be done in this last month of session. Representative McDermott, thank you for joining us this morning. Thanks again to our crew at Olelo and our friends joining us virtually. To everyone at home, we will see you next week here at Live at the Legislature. Mahalo.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Olelo crew. You guys are great. I really appreciate your hard work. Jonathan, Tom, everybody. Take care. God bless.
Hello.
What are you doing? We have to go. I'm gonna be late for work.
It's Tuesday morning. I gotta record live at the legislature on Olelo. Senate and House leadership discussing what's happening at the state capitol.
So just watch it on the news tonight. Come on, let's go.
Hey, this is like getting the news before it's news. If only I could get this remote to work.
There. Can we go now?
No DVR? No problem. Watch Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. on Channel 49.